I've been using Claude Code to help me run my AI agency, and it got me thinking, what if I could apply all of the same strategies and principles I've been using as an AI founder, but apply that to an e-commerce workspace, build an e-commerce command center, and get e-commerce founders to be able to plug in Shopify or Triple Whale or Klaviyo and allow them to query their business in real language in real time and get dedicated feedback from AI. Well, that's what I've gone ahead and built. So in this video, I'm going to take you through why I think this is going to be an absolute game changer for e-commerce businesses, and then a bit of a demo of how it actually works and some of the questions you can ask it, as well as the initialization and the setup that it takes you through. I'm going to ask you for two things. Please like and subscribe. It does help the channel grow, and I'm really interested in providing more content like this. And also send me a message or leave me a comment if you are interested, and I can reach out to you and give you more information on how I can get this set up for you and your brand. Let's get into the video. Okay, I'm recording a video today to walk through the e-commerce command center. Now, the problem with using AI, especially in e-commerce, is that everyone's using it. Everyone I speak to is using some form of AI, whether it be ChatGPT or Gemini or Grok. But the problem is, without the right workspace and context, you get wildly different responses from the AI, and it doesn't have the context that it needs to give you the proper recommendations. It would be like walking up to somebody on the street and asking them, how do I grow the sales of this product? They have no context or expertise on your business. They would be, if anything, drawing from a wide variety of generalist knowledge. They may or may not have specialties or even have researched e-commerce or your product niche specifically. So you wouldn't expect to get a good result or a good answer from that person. So why would AI be any different? How you're using AI right now, you're probably getting very generic outputs. It's giving the same responses to 10 different people that asked the question because it doesn't have awareness of your products, your context, your market, your customers, or your business. It doesn't have these integrations or the connectors available to look inside your business and to understand some of the trends across the wider scope of your platforms and the tools that you use. So anytime you ask it a question, it would probably take you down a rabbit hole of trying to help you diagnose your ad performance, but without the right connectors, it doesn't have access to the information to make you do that very easily. So by the time you go through all the back and forth and trying to explain to Claude what you're asking it and trying to lead it down the path of understanding what you're saying, it's probably just quicker for you to jump in and diagnose ad performance yourself and take a look through Triple Whale or Facebook ads. Lastly, and most importantly, the strategic context is critical. Without strategic context, without a brand voice, a messaging template, an understanding of your business, the AI is just going to be waffling to you. And I guarantee if you have a chat with ChatGPT or your preferred AI model and you just push back a little bit, it will actually flip and it will change its responses to suit what you want. AI without context just gives you what we call AI slop. So it's generic marketing copy. It's written for the wrong tone or the wrong audience. It doesn't have awareness of your margins or your products or your challenges around fulfillment or customer acquisition or anything like that. And it's more than likely going to be hallucinating product details and forgetting things because AI only has a certain amount of memory or context within a single window. So you either have to keep reminding it what you're talking about, or as you have longer and longer chats, the effectiveness of the AI will become more diluted and you'll start getting worse response. Even if it delivers them convincingly, you might be getting the wrong replies and the wrong answers back from your models. So with context and what this workshop and what this set of documentation is aiming to help you do is to deliver on-brand conversion-focused copy every time you ask it for recommendations on copy or ad writing or anything like that. It's because it knows your customers, it knows your voice, and it optimizes everything that it outputs around your business with the knowledge and the context of what it needs to know within the system. It optimizes towards your real goals, your real targets, and it knows all these things because of the documentation that I've built. It's going to help you with initializing Claude and going through a setup process so that the AI can learn about you and your business and your goals and actually make recommendations using that template as its ongoing context every time you have a chat with it. The tools are going to be the most critical thing. As part of this workshop, the documentation will help you not only establish the brain of the AI, this is going to be a partner that you can use as a junior marketing analyst. You can use it as a media buyer. You can use it however you like because it's connected to such a diverse array of tools. So these are just some of the tools that it can connect to. And honestly, with the level of capability of the MCP with Claude, the sky's the limit really with what you can connect it to. But our workshop will cover a variety of these different tools. Today, we're going to start with Shopify for the purpose of the demo. And we're going to be connecting all of these into this Claude Code workspace. So we're now starting to layer these different things on top. We have at the core the brain and the understanding of the context that's going to be loaded into every session. It's like this employee is going to be learning about you, and it's going to have spent time in your business and understand your context. So the idea is we have all of these layers and we're going to connect them up. So starting with the connection, the initialization of the context, giving the proprietary documents into the workspace to allow it to learn about you and collect all the information that it needs. And then we'll go through some example commands on how it actually works and how you can actually make it effective for yourself. So I'm in the demo e-commerce command center folder, and that's where the documents that I've created to set up this workspace have been stored. So I'm going to go ahead and use the command /setup to get everything started. So what it's doing now, it's actually starting us to build the business brain, and this is going to be the foundational context layer or a document that it's going to read every session to internalize all the things I just spoke about, understanding and learning our business, our customers, our products. And it's going to give you those specific guided answers rather than the generic questions and answers that you'll get back from AI normally without these documentation. So for the purpose of the demo, I've set up a Shopify store with some test products in there. So I'm just going to say it's called Chris's Store. We sell beauty products. Business model, so we're on Shopify D2C. No subscriptions yet. Why do customers choose you over the alternative? Our products are non-toxic and use sustainable ingredients. So you can see here as an example, it's trying to already reverse engineer and understand more about the brand. Who's on your team? For the purpose of this, I'm just going to say it's just me, but there is a function that I've built in called add team member, which I'll show you a bit later on. It's kind of like creating the foundational documents for a workspace for your team member using the goals and objectives and information you put into yours as the founder. So it's quite cool. For now, I'm just going to say just me, but I can showcase that functionality to you later on as well. Cool. So that looks right. Number one goal. So on track for 750K revenue first year. Cool. Two biggest things is probably repeat purchases and improving ad performance. The thing that's been bugging you that better data would solve. Yeah, so for this, again, you might have a solution or an answer to this question that comes to mind straight away as an e-commerce founder. For me, I'm just going to say better understanding of how we can get more products for sale and encourage cross-sells. Okay, so we filled in that form. You can see we've gone back and forth with it a little bit, and now it's asking permission to edit the brain. So this is a pre-built document. It's surfaced up all these questions, and now by asking for your permission to overwrite, we're going to click always allow for this session. Otherwise, you have to keep clicking yes. So we'll just go always allow, and what it's going to do is it's going to rewrite the brain file so that that becomes the brain for your workspace. So if you have any of these existing documents, you can drop them in like strategy documentation or brand guidelines. That will add those to the brain, and over time this brain is just going to become more and more intelligent. It's going to learn more about your business, and there's settings in the documentation for it to automatically update and grow the information and the knowledge in there. So we'll just say skip this for now. I want to show you how we connect Shopify. So let's say connect Shopify. Okay, so we've already built the connector for Shopify. I'm not going to bore you with the details, but this is just going to show you how it will actually work. So for the first time, it's going to ask for permissions before making changes. You can put it on bypass permissions if you just want it to send through, instead of sending through requests, it will just go and grab whatever information it needs. So as a good example, you can see now it's connected. You could see it's pulled some of my products. It's got the ability and the availability in stock here. This is obviously a very basic request that we've done, but it will just show you the level of access it would have to it. So maybe we can try out testing some of the prompts that you might want to put in as a founder, just to see how this could work and help you with moving the needle for your business. So I want to say, provide me a summary of today's orders. Let's just say, we'll give it a bit of a more complex one. Tell me the number of purchases. So I want it to break down how many sales we got in each Australian state. So this might not be a prompt you would use as a founder, but I just wanted to show you this to explain how it's going to work. So it's now using the tool that we've pre-built. It's already asked us earlier for permission to get products. Now it's asking for permission to get customers and get orders. So it wants to pull the orders from our Shopify. it's going to now pull those, as you can see the string here, it's pulling those into the workspace and it's now analyzing them. And just like that, we've been able to see a quick breakdown. So now giving us a breakdown, we've had 18 orders today, total amount, average order value, all orders are paid and fulfilled. It gives you the status of that. Top 3 selling products, which I asked it to break down. It's told me how many it sold as well as the revenue from the products over the last, actually that's just from today. Serums are doing the heavy lifting. They appeared in 11 out of the 18 orders. So Serum, it's saying, is quite the big seller. And then the Australian state breakdown. So I asked it, not only did I ask it for the number of orders, it's actually given me a breakdown as well in the amount of revenue I've made from each state as well, which is quite interesting. Now, this is where it starts adding context. It's giving a quick takeaway here. So your serums are the gateway products. 83% of multi-item orders include at least one. So let's go a bit deeper and say, based on the analytics and sales data you have access to. So as we said before, it's now asking for permission to get customers because it wants access to the full product catalog and the customer data. It's going to analyze all of our customers. It's going to look at all of the sales details, all of the data and the information that it can pull through Shopify, and it's going to give us an answer based on that information. Okay, now you can see the prompt that I've given it. And again, as I said in the introduction, the thing with AI is people don't give it enough context, and to give it enough context for it to work without using a workspace like this, it takes so much time. You have to explain yourself every single time. We've just asked it a very basic question based on the analytics and sales data you have access to. How could we grow revenue? And this is what it's come back with. So the numbers behind the strategy, it's given us a breakdown of the hero products, the average order value, and then 5 areas where we could actually increase revenue ranked by the impact. This is not just AI giving you some random answer. This is AI looking into your information and giving you guided information and steps on how you can achieve the goals within your business. So because we fed it a lot of test orders, it's picked up that every customer has ordered exactly once. So it's also identified that for consumable beauty products, it's money left on the table, especially with a product that is replenishable that people need to rebuy again. So even if 30% of your customers reorder, that's a massive revenue bump. So now it's saying, set up a post-purchase email, start with the vitamin C serum buyers as they are the largest customer segment. And it's suggesting that we implement some subscribe and save options to get people back and purchasing again. So math here is if 30% of customers reorder once per quarter at $85 AOV, that's an extra $18,500 a month. So pretty substantial difference just in the first recommendation here. Bearing in mind, I didn't give it any of the context that you as a founder or someone working in the industry would actually have. I've just given it a very basic test Shopify store. I set it up about 2 hours ago. There's a load of test products and test orders in there that I got a Shopify integration, or I set up an integration with the script to just run a bunch of test orders. And this is the level of detail that it's coming back with. I'm not going to go through and read every single one. I'll leave these on the screen here so you can see what they look like. But I hope this gives you an idea of the power that you can have with using Claude Code when it is integrated into your systems. There's one more thing, and it's a question that I was asked from someone pretty recently, and it was to do with the current events of the world. They were asking about how fuel prices might impact their availability or deliverability. I haven't tried this yet, but I want to actually see what this says. Now, bear in mind, I haven't given any information on fulfillment or where my products come from. So as a heads up, it might actually ask me for that information to give me the right answer, or it might make some suggestions on things I can do to mitigate the rising fuel costs or potential disruptions to fulfillment. So let's just say, how will rising petrol oil prices. So this is now starting to go into the forecasting area of the business, and it will help you identify areas of impact that you may or may not have thought of or identified before this came up. As I said, I don't know what it's going to put out here. It's just a question that I had from someone, and I thought it was quite interesting. I don't think I've given it enough context for it to give us a good answer back, but let's see what happens. Okay, and it's just as I said. So the recommendation is to update the brain. It's a run / command update brain. And because I didn't give it any of that information, again, it's just a test store, but it's asking me now for the COGS and the margins and other information. Even without that, it's actually given a pretty good breakdown of where the rising oil prices could impact my theoretical business. So it's identified I'm shipping D2C across Australia. Carrier rates are directly tied to fuel charges. Your orders currently show $0 shipping charge to customers. So again, it's gone in and it's looked at Shopify and it's identified that I'm not charging shipping in these test orders. So as a result of the rising fuel costs, they tie into the shipping rates, Australia Post, Sendle, and Couriers Please. So a 5 to 10% fuel surcharge could actually impact each order at a certain amount. And it's actually given me a forecast on how much it would impact my bottom line if I didn't do anything about it, just based on a negligible 5 to 10% rise. Now, it's also gone into further detail, raw materials and ingredients in my products. I haven't given any of this information and they're all made up products, but it's gone to the extent of looking at the ingredients within my hypothetical products. And it's given me a suggestion here that suppliers, because we're using plant-derived alternative ingredients, may cost more because of the rise in energy, transportation, and production costs. So it's really, really impressive. It's also talking about packaging. So talking about plastic packaging, inbound freight, and then here's the section it's saying that it can't calculate. So I quite like that it's still worked with the information that it's got access to within Shopify, but at the same time, it's been honest with you and it's told you what it can't calculate, but it's asked for you to provide the information to help it with calculating those numbers. So it's done exactly what you would want as an advisor. It's told you the areas based on the information that it has, but it's also held back and asked you for more information on parts that it doesn't want to guess. So I hope you can see how powerful this could be for your business. I'll be doing a series of workshops, maybe in person and also virtual, starting with Sydney, but if there is enough demand in other states, I'll be doing them virtually or potentially flying out as well. This is just the tip of the iceberg. We'll be connecting up other tools like Facebook ads and Google ads and Triple Whale. So this is just with Shopify Connected alone. You can see the level of sophistication and the depth with which you could go in and get it to help out with your business. We haven't even spoken about how it can actually go ahead and take actions if you set it up to. So I might say, let's, based on this information, go in and adjust the prices of all my products by 5 or 10% to account for the price rise. You know, the limits are endless with what it can do. And I think for the founders that do put the extra time and effort into learning it and setting it up, it's going to really go above and beyond to help you with your business. It's all well and good to sit there and watch YouTube videos, but you're best off just learning it from someone like myself. I've been in it and done it for a number of years, and I've gone through and done all the hard work and created this workspace and set up the documentation, and it's ready for you to just kind of reap the benefits from it. So I hope that was helpful for you. Feel free to pop me a message or a comment or something anywhere. Let me know if you have any questions. If you're interested in joining the workshop, I can send you the link and give you more information on that. But yeah, thanks for watching.